Suttara Shraddha Shishmat His Divine Grace of Vaishana Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Visco MDVT Founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Ji Ki Mahagrantha Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Shri Vaimya Ekadashi Ki Rup Premanande all verses and the devotees all verses and the devotees all verses and the devotees all verses to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Vimbatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Vidatasvata Harmani Vidanotsuritzadam Krishna Swadamo Parate Dharmanya Nirisa Kalonamstavishamisha Puranai Padunottham Mahagrantha Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 8, verses 18, 19. The title of the chapter is A Description of the Character of Bharat Maharaj. Okay, I put together the verse 18 to 19. Api Chana Vrika Salaviko Niyatamo Va Api Chana Vrika Salaviko Niyatamo Va Vriko Niyatamo Va Api Chana Vrika Salaviko Niyatamo Va Naika Chara Eka Charo Bhakshayat Naika Charaiko Charva Bhakshayat Naika Charaiko Charva Bhakshayat Nilochati Ha Bhagavan Sakala Jagat Nilochati Ha Bhagavan Sakala Jagat Shimodayas Sai Atmadyapi Mama Na Shimodayastai Atmadyapi Namana Shimodayastai Atmadyapi Namana Mriga Vadhu Vyasa Agachati Mriga Vadhu Vyasa Agachati Megavadunya Sa'agachati Abhina Vrikasala Vrikoyatamova Naikachari Kucharo Bhakshayat Nilochati Ha Bhagavan Saka Jagat Shimodayastai Atmadyapi Namana. This verse is very difficult. Megavadunya Sagachati.
Apichana vikashala vikonayat tamva.
Apichana vikashala vikonayat tamva.
Naikachara ekacharuva bhakshati.
Naikachara ekacharuva bhakshati.
Nimlochati ha bhagavan shakala jagat.
Nimlochati bhagavan sakala jagat.
Dayastayatmadyapi manam.
Shrimodayastayatmadyapi manam.
Mrigavadhunyasa gacchati.
Mrigavadhunyasa gacchati. Good, very good. I put together also. Apicha or na not vikaha above sala vikaha adog anyatamaha anyone of many va or na ekacharaha the hogs that flock together. Ekacharaha, the tiger that wanders alone. Va or Bhakshati is eating the poor creature. Imlochati, sex. Alas, Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead, represented as the sun. Sakala Jagat, of all the universe. Shema Udayaha, who increases the auspiciousness. Trai Atma, who consists of the three Vedas. Adyapi, until now. Mama, my. Na, not. Mrigavadhunyasa. This baby deer entrusted to me by its mother. Agachati, has come back. Okay, the translation from the English from Sanskrit to English by Prabhupada. I do not know, but the deer might have been eaten by a wolf or a dog, or by the boars that flock together, or the tiger who travels alone. Alas, when the sun rises, all auspicious things begin. Unfortunately, they have not begun for me. Sun God is the Vedas personified. Bharat Maharaj have a deep relationship with the sun, Surya Narayana. That sun God is now sitting, yet the poor animal who trusted in me since his mother died has not returned. Let's go repeat together. I do not know.
I cannot know.
But the deer might have been eaten by a wolf or a dog, or by the boars that flock together, or the tiger who travels alone. Alas, when the sun rises, all auspicious things begin. Unfortunately, they have not begun for me. The sun God is the Vedas personified. But I am bereft of all Vedic principles. That sun God is now sitting. Yet the poor animal who trusts in me, since his mother died, has not returned. Purport by Divine Grace of Vaishnava Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Tigers never wander in the forest in flocks. Each tiger wanders alone, but the forest boars keep together. Similarly, hogs, wolves, and dogs also do the same. Thus, Maharaj Bharata thought that the deer had been killed by some of the many ferocious animals within the forest. In the Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, verse 2, the sun is described as the eye of the Supreme Person of Godhead. Yakshurishara Samhita Sakalagahanam Rajasamasta Sura Vijaya Sheshateja Sarangaya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chako Govindamani Purusham Tamaham Jani. As the sun arises, one should chant the Vedic mantra beginning with the Gayatri. The sun is the symbolic representation of the eyes of the Supreme Lord. Maharaj Bharata lamented that although the sun was going to set, due to the poor animals' absence, he could not find anything auspicious. But Maharaj considered himself most unfortunate, for due to the animals' absence, there was nothing auspicious for him in the presence of the sun. Who was in the very similar position in very famous Vedic sculpture also, was lamenting. This very capacitated person, but was lamenting, don't want to fight. Arjuna. Having many points similar in between Bharat Maharaj and the Arjuna Pandava. Umaganatimirandasyam Niranjanam Shalakaya Chakshur Viditanjana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Madhavasan Saptan Vira Vittare Swai Rupa Karamayan Nadat Sva Padantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Parishthaya Bhutale Namaste Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tamne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharye Nirvishekashmi Yavadi Paschatari Shatare Panchakalpatarudhischa Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanidyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Govinda Gadadhar Shrivasana Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Good morning to everyone. Thanks for coming to Srimad Bhagavatam class. And now we are studying the 8th chapter of the 5th canto that explains about Bharat Maharaj. It is amazing thing how Bharat Maharaj, in a very, very high level of consciousness, found out so deep in so brief time. It's a very, very amazing thing, this past time. So, the translation by Sanskrit Thakur, perhaps a wolf or a jackal or a tiger or in a group of animals has eaten the deer, the sun which rises to give benefit to the whole world, composed of the three Vedas, is seeking. The young deer, entrusted to live by his mother, has not returned. The summary of this chapter by Sanskrit Thakur is the next. The 8th chapter describes how Bharata raised a fawn and meditated on it, attained the body of a deer in his next life. Krishna, an ocean of cleverness, protected his deer, who was previous Bharat, to show that compassion, if it is an obstacle to bhakti, must be given up. The Lord showed his affection for his devotee by protecting Bharata in the form of a deer, so that he would fall in the ocean of remorse in order to drown in the ocean of prema. So, I will start with a question, problematic. So he asked, how did someone go from a high level of consciousness that Charles considered, have a verse that I will quote, that the consciousness level of Bharat Maharaj was in Bhava Bhakti, it's too much higher. High level of consciousness to all this attachment, winning and immediately over a little dear, my dear. Prabhu Suresh every time did this joke in the Bhakti about driving. So a possible title for this research is Bharat Maharaj in the insidious nature of the material attachment. Okay, this is a picture on time, yes, Bharat Maharaj crying, remember of the deer. But first point that is Bharat Maharaj with a great devote of Lord Vasudeva, Lord Shri Krishna. You can see it. So this is, I studied by the chapter 7 and chapter 8. This is verse 1 of the chapter 7, the previous chapter. My dear king, Bharat Maharaj was a topmost devotee. So the word in the Sanskrit is Bharatastu Mahabhagavato. So Mahabhagavata is an indicator of a great devotee. All associates of Lord Chaitanya was considered great Mahabhagavata. So Mahabhagavata is a big devotee. So Bhagavad established that Bharat Maharaj is a great devotee. Following the orders of his father, who is the father of Bharat Maharaj? Vishnadev, who had already decided to install him on the throne, in the Vedic system of regents of the throne. He began to rule the earth accordingly. Maharaj Bharata told that since the demigods were different parts of Vasudeva's body, he controls those who are explained in the Vedic mantras. By thinking in this way, Maharaj Bharata was free from all material contamination, such as attachment, lust, and greed. He was free from material contaminations like attachment, lust, and greed. So, in the Vedic time, the kings, one of the main rules, one of main duties of the king is make Agnihotas, make fire sacrifice of fire sacrifice. So, with these fire sacrifices, everything that is needed came, yes, rains, grains, metals like gold and silver, or every opulence came when the king make this Agnihotas, this Vedic sacrifice. So this is very important to keep in the kingdom. But Bharat Maharaj was so advanced that he not only see the demigods behind, he saw the Krishna, Vasudeva behind the demigods of different limbs of the body of the Lord Vasudeva, Lord Shri Krishna. So this showed the advance in consciousness of Bharat Maharaj. The demonstration. A very pious or dharmic king. With great faith, King Bharata performed various kinds of sacrifice. He performed the sacrifice known as Agnihotra, Darsha, Purnamasa, Chaturmasya. This is for go to the moon. Pashayagya, wherein a horse is sacrificed. And Somayagya, to drink the drink soma, wherein a kind of beverage is offered. Sometimes these sacrifices were performed completely and sometimes partially. In any case, in all the sacrifices, the revelation of Tatsuvata was strictly followed. In this way, Bharat Maharaj worshipped the Supreme Person of Godhead. So, this verse emphasizes that Bharat Maharaj was a very, very dharmic, very, very pious, very religious king, but not only this. He is bionic. He was a great devotee of Krishna also. The point is the position, both material and spiritual, of Bharat Maharaj was very, very, very elevated. In the beginning of creation, this is confirming the relationship of the kings and the Vedic sacrifice. Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 3, verse 10. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods. This is cooperation of both, along with sacrifice for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this gathering, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation." So by this very sacrifice, the king attract the opulence for the kingdom, for your peoples, your followers, and after this he can achieve moksha. This is the Vedic system. So this is Bharat Maharaj meditating Surya Narayana. You cannot see. Especially in Treta Yuga, the prescribed duty of dharma of a king was to perform Agnihotras. By such sacrifices, all the appliances, grains, precious metals, fodder for the cows, was sent by demigods, and thus the population was properly maintained. Remember Krishna? Krishna, very, very young boy, refused this yagya by Indra, because Indra sent the rain, and the rain, grass, grains, all these things in the mountains and the ocean, the stones, the gems appeared. Yes, all this by the yagas. This is the idea in the Rig Veda, in the Vedic original Vedas. But Bharat Maharaj was so advanced that he could see the presence of the Lord behind the sacrifices. Thus, this is a quote, thus Maharaj Bharata considered that the oblations offered to different demigods were actually offered unto the different limbs of Lord Vasudeva. Chapter 7, verse 6. I think that I will give cotton to you, make a good position. So good idea. Yeah, take time. So after he was a great king, a very pious, a very dharmic king. So make Agnihotras is one of main duties of a king. And who can say to me what's the very, very important duty of a king? Protect the people, protect the citizens. Who is a citizen in a Vedic kingdom?
Whoever lives in the kingdom.
Yes, birds, dogs, hawks, bulls, cows. Humans, of course. Every living entities in a kingdom is praja, is pertenent to the kingdom. Inhabitant of the kingdom, not only humans, but every human beings and animals also. So two main duties: protect all living beings and make Agnihotras. After he was a great kingdom. In the Vedic tradition, recommend that renunciation. Yes, if you die attaching all these duties, because these duties are temporary. Varnashram Dharma is temporary, but we are spiritual souls. So in the end of life, recommend renunciation to get the liberation, to search God, looking for God. The renunciation of Bharat Maharaj. Who is this? This is Ramanujacharya. Yesterday was the appearance day of Ramanujacharya. He's a great Vaishnava, great personality that can illuminate this world in south of India. When that period was finished, he retired from family life and divided the wealth he had received from his forefathers among his sons. He left his paternal home, the reservoir of all opulence. Remember that Bharata Maharaj was the king of the whole world. So he's opulent, so his wealth is inconceivable. It's too much big, and he renunciated all this. He left his paternal home, the reservoir of all opulence, and started for Pulaha Ashram. He was looking for Sharanam Shilas in space. This is verse 8. In this way, his heart was completely uncontaminated, and he did not have the least desire for material enjoyment. All material desires vanished in this stable position. He felt full satisfaction and was situated in devotional service. So, look at the position of Bharata Maharaj. Bharata Maharaj renunciated the kingdom, that the kingdom is the whole world on this time. So his opulence, his wealth is inconceivable, wife, kids, and all this. And according to this verse 11, in this stable position, he felt full satisfaction and was situated in devotional service. So the next verse will demonstrate the symptoms of the consciousness of Bharata Maharaj. So high, so high. Beautiful picture of Lotus flower. You cannot see. Bharata Maharaj had attained the stage of Bhava Bhakti. This is verse 12 of the chapter 7. The most exalted devotee Maharaj Bharata in this way engaged constantly in devotional service of the Lord. Constantly, yes? Not like in beginning in Nartanivriti, in these stages that we have interruptions. No, constantly, yes? Too much far away of Nishta. Naturally, his love for Vasudeva Krishna increased more and more and melted his heart. Consequently, he gradually lost all attachment for regulative duties. The characteristic of the devotees, very high. The hairs of his body stood on end, in Satvika Bhavas, and all the destructive bodily symptoms were manifested. Tears flowed from his eyes, so much so that he could not see anything. Thus, he constantly meditated on the reddish lotus feet of the Lord. At that time, his heart, which was like a lake, was filled with the water of ecstatic love. When his mind was immersed in that lake, he even forgot the relative service to the Lord. So, he's not more in the stage of Vaidbhat, they are in completely immersed in Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, with the symptoms in Bhava Bhakti. So this question is very, very important. how one in this level of bhakti fall down. One classical motive is Vaishnava Parada. But where we know the Bhagavatam review don't have a Vaishnava Parada. So, because these histories are in Srimad Bhagavatam, yes, these are educative, yes, histories to teach and whole the world. And how is a great devotee in this position found out? This is a great mystery, great question, big talk. I'm sorry. The effect. God bless you. Okay, Bharata's compassion and the Kshatriya's duty is a dilemma here. Yes? Here, in the left Bharata saved the deer, and the right is the same but more or less. The great King Bharata, while sitting on the bank of the river, saw the small deer, my dear deer, bereft of its mother floating down the river. Seeing this, he felt great compassion. Who felt great compassion for one that not was good? Arjuna. Arjuna is the same situation. Arjuna felt great compassion by to relatives, to his masters, Dronacharya and Bhishmadeva. Bhishmadeva is not only a great master, but was the grandfather and very, very approaching relationship. So both Arjuna felt compassion by his relatives and for his big masters, Bhishmadeva and Dronacharya. But here, Bhagavatam Purana has a little of ironic sense of mood, because how you attention in the level of consciousness that he was, how you attention by a deer. Same how, but in this next had a Vaishnava Parada by Bharat. But how a great yogi mystic in deep of the water, Saubhar Muni, who feel sexual desire for see fishing couples. Yes, because it's so foolish. Yes, it's heavy so ironic in Bhagavatam that time. Like a sincere friend, he lifted the infant deer from the waves, and knowing it to be motherless, brought it to his ashram, together with Charya and ships. So, this is a point of Prabhupada purports. And this first line that you not see, the laws of nature work in subtle ways unknown to us. Is a very, very important advice to the world, because how can I understand the world? Everybody with intelligence wants to do this. How can I understand the world, the life, the reality? And the advice, the conceal of the Bhagavad Purana is this: the laws of nature work in subtle ways unknown to us. Very, very, the material world is very, very complex. Very, very complex. Many philosophers on the history try, but they cannot, they don't get. Another example, in Bhagavatam, in 8th chapter of 1st canto, Bhishmadeva in the arrow's bed. Yes, arrow's bed. The Pandavas came, and the Bhishmadeva put the question: how the Pandavas, so pious, so virtuous, suffer a lot. Don't have question. Nobody can understand it. Because this phrase of Shantikavarti Thakur is so important, so important. Sansara Ravana Idaluka. The material world is like a forest in fire, and burn. Who attached the fire in this forest? Nobody. So, this is the nature of the material world. But, of course, it's more easy when you surrender to authority. More and more you understand the Vedas, the devotional spiritual life means accept the authority. Who is the first and original authority? It's Krishna. All other authorities in the world represent indirectly the authority original. The original authority is Krishna. So we need surrender, we need accept this authority. It's more big than me, and I accept. If you accept the authority of Krishna, the original authority, and try put off the side the false ego, the approach, the relationship with the material world is more easy. But if no, it's a very, very, very complex. The laws of nature work in subtle ways and notice. Bharat was a great king, very advanced in devotional service. He had almost reached the point of loving service to the Supreme Lord, but even from that platform, he could fall down onto the material platform. Same purport 7, spiritual salvation and liberation from material bondage must be worked out with great caution. Otherwise, a little discrepancy will cause one to fall down again into material access. Material life is very, very strict, but you need to be very, very patient in the spirit. You have too much worry, too much attention in the spiritual life. By studying the activities of Maharaj Bharata, we can learn the art of becoming completely free from all material attachment. Another part of purport, same purport, we should be compassionate by raising one from the material platform to the spiritual platform. So, if your compassion is by the soul, if you try one to elevate it in the devotional service, in spiritual life, it's okay, it will help you. But if you try help the body, the material relationships, this down you to the material platform. Otherwise, the end moment our spiritual advancement may be spoiled, and we may fall down onto the material platform. Maharaj Bharata's compassion for the deer was the beginning of his fall down into the material world. Consciousness is a symptom of the soul, and the mind is one of the parts of the consciousness, having the functions of feeling, thinking, and reading. When we put our faculty of feeling in bodies or material things, material relationships, it is called sentimentalism. This was me that right, don't worry. But when we place our mind in its attachment in Krishna and his devotees, the mind attains its real spiritual nature. So I wrote this, but we have a confirmation. Chitta kalu asya bandaya muktaye chatmanomatan guneshu shatan bandaya ratan va punsi muktaye. The stage in which the consciousness, chitta, of the living entity is attracted by the three modes of material nature is called the conditional life. But when that same consciousness is attached to the Supreme Person of Godhead, one is situated in the consciousness of liberation or Krishna consciousness. This is quoted from Kapila Deva, Canto 3, chapter 25, verse 15. And Prabhupada gives the last act clear. No one knows where compassion compassion should be applied, especially nowadays that everybody thinks that I am the body. Compassion for the body of a drowned man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of nations cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material world. One who does not know this and laments for outward dress is called a Shudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse 1, the purport Prabhupada. But even this, Bharat Maharaj was in a dilemma. Many great histories in Bhagavad Purana was a dilemma. Not as easy to solve. It's very, very complex. So, so according to the Kshatriya Dharma, the duty of Kshatriya was right, save the deer. But according to the Swadharma of the soul, Bhakti, not so important to save the deer. Let's go to the quotes. Is Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse 31, purport. Out of the four orders of social administration, the second order for the matter of the good administration is called Kshatriya. Kshat means hurt. One who gives protection from harm is called Kshatriya. Trayate, to give protection. So this is one of the main duties of Kshatriya. Give protection by the all living entities in your kingdom. Here in the Night of Devotion, but we have a very famous quote in Bhagavatam also, Prabhupada explained, just like at the present moment, every country, they are national, they consider the human being as national. Not the animals, but actual meaning of national means anyone who takes birth in that country. In Sanskrit word, it is called Praja, king, and the Raja and Praja. There's the connection, Raja and Praja. Praja means who takes birth, Prajayati. Anyone who takes birth in that country, in that kingdom, is called Praja. So it is the duty of the king to give protection all Prajas. Not that only human being or my brother or my sister, and not the animals, not the cows, not goats, not the chickens. No, they are also praying. So Bharat Maharaj was a great king, and inside point of view, the point of the Kshatriya Dharma is very, very right in save the deer. And have the final reflection to end this lecture. According to Vedic Dharma, it is the duty of Kshatriya to provide protection to all living beings. But Maharaj Bharata had already renounced his duty as a king, and he was beyond any social status. He was in transcendental position. His Swadharma, in that moment, is the Swadharma of the soul, Bhakti. What did the soul do? Krishnera Nityadas, is eternal servant of Krishna. Not more relation with Dharma Kshatriya in this moment. Due to compassion, there seems to be a misunderstanding of the question of Swadharma or the duty inherent in that moment. His act of saving the deer is one of great nobility. Saving the deer was very, very normal. But the problem is, you save the deer, and the deer is a very calf, very baby. The deer alone will die. So this he bring the deer to his action. But this is the one important point. He started to take care of the deer like a mother, like a provider, and he attached to the deer. And parallel this, he abandoned the duties of sadhana, of bhakti, the Agnihotra, the mantra guides, every other bhakti duties. This was the one important mistake of Bharat Maharaj. His act of saving deer is one of great nobility, but when he becomes attached to the animal and simultaneously abandons his duties or sadhana of bhakti, the activity of the spiritual soul, it is a downfall and a deviation from his own self-interest. How with his high level consciousness, in this high level consciousness, abandoning the bhakti duties, the bhakti sadhana, and attachment to animal, this is a great mystery. This is a great mystery that Prabhupada is explained in beginning. But even this pastime showed to us how is very, very, very dangerous attachment in the material world. If you stay attached to material relationships, we will fall down. So we need to be very, very grateful to our relationships, material relationships, but the focus is the relationship with the devotees inside. The focus is the spiritual. Sometimes it's a little bitter, yes, renounced is a little bitter, yes, it's solid, but we need to go ahead. Yes, we need to go ahead. If no, we have the example of Bharat Maharaj. Okay, it's a purport of Srila Prabhupada, Coach Srila Prabhupada to end the lecture, to confirm. Such deviation from duty does not help one in the progress of spiritual life. Yes, the devotee, the renunciation need to be very strong. Very strong. If you is weakness, if you is light, the material you don't forgive this. Such deviation from duty does not help one in progress of spiritual life. Nor does it even give one the opportunity to become famous in this world. Lord Krishna did not approve, yes, your claiming, yes. Krishna called Arjuna in the second chapter of Clavian. Clavian is not too much heroic, not too much masculine, yeah, you understand? Clavian. How these contaminations take you. Lord Krishna did not approve of the so-called compassion. Compassion is by the soul. If compassion is by the body, this is ignorance. Compassion of Arjuna for his kinsman. Prabhupada aqui? Mahakrishna aqui. People have any comments?
I have a question.
Yes. Krishna Prabhu will answer to you.
Sorry?
Krishna Prabhu will answer to you.
Oh, okay.
You're toxic.
Thank you for this nice presentation, especially the screen also, and the beautiful pictures. When you were putting the question into the room that, how could he fall down from this elevated situation? I was wondering if we know anything about this past life, because usually, as you told, we fall down because of Vaishnava Bharat or something else, but in this life, Bharat Maharaj didn't seem to do anything wrong in that sense.
Yeah.
That's the Vedanta. So
Yeah.
I was
Or
wondering-
he did is not wrong, or the Bharata Purana not show. In the case of Shaubhai Muni, it's very, very clear, yes. The Shaubhai Muni offended Garuda. But in the Bharata Maharaj, the character of Bharata is very exemplary.
I have one comment on
You
this.
cannot even see the PowerPoint.
Once I had asked a question, and then one devotee told me that Bharat Maharaj's story is about how he never had association of devotees. So even when he was going astray, there was nobody to tell him.
This question is very good, but without the association, Prabhupada explained in a purport of Dhruva Maharaj that spiritual life without the association like we had here is a hallucination. But Bharat Maharaj not was in the first stages of Bhakti like yes. He was in Bhava Bhakti. Have a phrase Bhajana. The word Krishna Prabhupada about bhajan alone, because bhajan in the first stages is alone is totally not recommended, but in the great levels, like Bhajan Maharaj, no problem. Again, mas dança só depois. Nirjana Bhajan. Thank you, Jen. Nirjana peoples, without. Nirjana Bhajan for the first steps, means that all these levels not recommend. You need an association with those. But in the level that he was, Nirjana Bhajan, no problem. Because every king go to the forest and stay alone. Yes, the Pandavas did this. Dhritarashtra not in the best example, but they did this with wife. Prit Maharaj with wife also go to the forest. This is the condition of the consciousness level. If you have a higher consciousness, you can go to the forest and stay alone. Who can go to the forest and stay alone in a dark forest in night with boars, with tigers? Only the those with high consciousness, because they have very connected with Paramatma. We don't have a so strong connected with Paramatma because usually we have fear, desires, this. But the pure devotee with a strong connection to Paramatma, he knows that Paramatma will protect him in all situations. So Nirjana Bhajana is okay for the level of Bharat Maharaj was, but for us, because this argument is not convincing, because we are in a very, very high consciousness. He can be the Nirjana Bhajan without problem. And this is our tradition. The Rajarshis go along to the forest and try to vibe, etc. and finish the process. Yes.
I mean, on the same, I was about to make the same comment, and I mean, you're right. It's part of this going alone to the forest. This kind of part of the date.
Yes, because this is in a higher consciousness. You can totally depend on Krishna.
Yeah.
In a danger place that is a forest.
Just two things come to my mind. I mean, I did also, I think it was from His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj listening about this topic. And he's one of the devotees who brings the example of, because no one was there to tell him, hey, Bharat Prabhu, your detachment to the deer is a bit too much, you know. Nobody was there to tell him that. So, like Maharaj speaks about that. And what comes to my mind as well is that in the Madhurya Kadambini, Shri Vishnu Thakur does quote the shloka. I don't have it in mind, but he quotes the shloka, I think, stated by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that even at the platform of prema, sadhusanga remains essential. Yeah, so that's kind of also there in a sense, you know, even the highest
case of
platform.
Goswami Vrindavan.
But yeah, just a thought.
And it's an interesting point because I have two kinds of devotees. Yes, the Goshananda, the Bhajana, the relation with the preaching. We can see the Goswamis of Vrindavan that always was together. But if I'm not wrong, I don't know if it's a good example. Gulakshur Babaji was always alone. Sometimes the approach of Bhakti Thakur, major time. Yes.
And I was also thinking that there is this verse of Bhagavad Gita, if you reach the Brahma Buddha platform, then the super soul is actually reached, and he was conquering the mind also, like,
Yes.
and he had direct sadhu sangha with Krishna actually. That's it. And this is the situation of Arjuna also, no? That he had direct contact with Krishna, and therefore he had the clear answer. So actually it had to be the direct wish of Krishna that he is teaching us this story. And then probably
in the stage of Brahma, the connection Paramatma is very, very clear, very, very clear. Why we need to stay with in association devotees? Because if we stay alone, it's very natural that the mind make propositions, yes, suggest, and it's very, very easy for us will be arrested by the mind. But for pure devotee with a very clear connected with Paramatma, you don't have these dangers because you don't interest in more Maya, and everything that see is Krishna in the spiritual form. It's a good point. Albina.
Меня удивил вопрос Юноны, поэтому я хочу уточнить. Насколько я поняла из стихов Шримад Бхагаватам, из Бхагавад-гиты, если человек не принимает Бога, не принимает Кришну, да, он живет так, как он хочет, руководствуется своими желаниями и решениями, то он живет по законам кармы и получает сполна. Сейчас я доскажу вопрос, Ира, ты поймешь все. То он сполна получает все по законам кармы. Но если человек предается Богу, по-настоящему предается Кришне, тогда с него снимаются грехи. Он уже не подчиняется законам кармы. И в этой связи Бхарата, разве он мог подчиняться законам кармы на своем уровне находясь?
Question is that when we take non-devotee, then it's natural that he will be forced by laws of karma and another laws of material nature. But when devotee surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he is free from karma, because Lord make it's stated in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And the question is how Maharaj Bharata, who was on such elevated state, can get some such like results of karma if he was devotee, and Lord revealed him from this karma.
The last part of the question, sorry?
Last part of the question.
Hmm?
How was it karma of Maharaj Bharata? This fall down. It was according to karma or not, and also.
Okay, if it was karma, but
yes,
actually
and
found out.
how it can be possible that it, for example, was karma if he was devotee on such an elevated stage, and Krishna normally reveals devotees from karma. Yes.
I think that this hypothesis is the less considered because the activities in bhakti burning all cities, also burning the parada karma and aparada karma. So the devotional service is burning all the cities, and because the devotional service is activity in akarma without reaction, and because this is considered the liberated position of Bharata Maharaj. So if the question is Bharata Maharaj found out by his karma, no, because the devotional service is burning all kinds of karma, parada karma and aparada karma. So it's because this pastime is so relevant, because it's so much complex, not only this, but many pastimes in Bhagavatam have this approach, have this same situation, so complex. How Bharat Maharaj stay good in life and give attention if we have so great level of consciousness.
One other point came to my mind is that, of course, Prabhupada is actually writing further that he doesn't have association, that's why he fell down. But then, why is he, like, in his next life, if he knows that, like, why is he then abandoning all association at all? Like, in the life of Bharat Maharaj, he had association with Rishabhadeva directly, that was Krishna. And
Rishabhadeva was his guru.
yeah.
Father Guru is the same.
And then he didn't have association, and his conclusion of the whole life of the day was that he abandons all association. So that's a very strange point also.
If Bharata Maharaj committed a mistake and he was punished, but at the same time Krishna protected him. Krishna gave a special mercy. What is the special mercy? Because of the attachment to the deer, he gave a body of deer, but he remains the same consciousness. This is very heavy. He can remember his past life of Bharata Maharaj, and we read that he will go to the ashram of the third souls and Krishna Bhava and Krishna pastimes. In the next life, he born with the Jada Bharata. I think that Jada Bharata is fantastic because I think that's the best strategy to escape of the material world. This is Jada Bharata. No more attachment, no more social life, nothing. Only internal consciousness.
He gave up designations.
Yeah, of course.
Because one thing is when he was, as Bharat Maharaj, when he went to the forest, he was a king and he gave up his kingdom and he went to the forest. But still he had the Kshatriya tendency. Ishvara Bhava was still there. But the next birth, as Jada Bharat, he gave up all designations.
Yeah. We can interpret it on this way, yeah, because if he keeping a little fire of the tendency of be a kshatriya, he was protected with it. But how you keeping this tendency in a very high level of understanding how is very complex. This is very complex. Because Prabhupada said It's very, very because we cannot understand. It's too much complex. We can argument, but the solution is Professor.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada says in Nectar of Instruction
You
that
have to sit down.
Srila Prabhupada says in Nectar of Instruction, I don't know which was in the purport, that one cannot fall from the stage of Bhava. Material energy cannot harm one at this stage. And I asked this my Bhakti Shastri teacher, Mahakrishna Prabhu, and yeah, he said that sometimes the Lord uses his devotees to show something. So this is actually not, in this case of Maharaj Maharaj, it's not possible, but he used him as an example to show, to teach a lesson.
In Bhava Bhakti, we can, from the of this stage, if we commit Vaishnava Parada, but in Bhava Bhakti, how one will stay attached by a deer? If you, the most beautiful women in the world, in Bhava Bhakti, yeah, that's the same. You feel attached by, okay, by compassion, this is very natural, but compassion by the body, this is ignorance. How this ignorance, how this vidya enter in the heart of the Bhagavad?
That's why it has to be directly the desire of Krishna, this person's happiness.
Yes, yeah, this is a good explanation. This was Lila. This was Krishna control. But, for example, when this happens with Parikshit Maharaj, because Parikshit Maharaj not will do that thing with the Shamita Rishi in normal consciousness. So the Bhagavad explained that it was arrangement of Krishna. This is staying explicitly in the text. But here not, this is the problem. In philosophy, we stay philosophy only with documents. What's documented in the text? With art in the text, this is scientific. If you imagine of your speculation, one thing that not in the text, this is not science, this is not considered.
But it is also, like, if the story wouldn't have happened, then it wouldn't be in the Bhagavatam. And the fact that it is there is actually that there is a reason behind, like in Maharaj Parikshit's place. So actually that's also the, everything that is in Srimad Bhagavatam is of course legal.
I don't know if it's a reason or is a symptom. It's too much complex. Let's go to take prasadam. No prasadam.
No,
No,
Fasting till 12. Bharat.
Bharat. Okay, perfect. More time to change Hare Krishna. Mahakrishna Bharat Ki.
Jai.
Go Pramanandi.